Hey SM1, welcome to chapter 4. This actually used to be what we would cover in chapter 4, most of this, but because of the pandemic, we're kind of trimming down some. So we're actually going to be doing 4.1, 4.4, and 4.6. So this chapter is going to go by pretty fast, and then we're going to have a test/quiz since it's so short. But just know that it's going to be fast, and we're going to need to take an assessment that'll come up pretty fast. Okay, so let's get started. 4.1 is writing equations in slope-intercept form. Now we have been talking about this in class, and we can take an equation and we can move it around so that it will be in slope-intercept form, and we can find the slope and we can find the intercept and we can graph it. But now we're going to use information so that we can actually write the equation. Okay, so today we're going to learn how to write an equation for a line y equals mx plus b given 4 different things. 1, if we're given the slope and the y-intercept. 2, if we're given a table or a graph. 3, if we're given the slope and a point. And 4, if we're given 2 points, we'll be able to write an equation of a line. Okay, so these are just some questions that I want you guys to kind of have in the back of your mind while we're doing this. So when you're given a problem, you need to look to see what they give you. What are you given? What do you have? And what do you need? They ask you, find x or solve for y or whatever. You need to know that. And you need to know what you're trying to find also. Okay, so write the equation of a line given the slope and the y-intercept. Write an equation of each line with the given, I have that on there twice. That's kind of funny. Okay, so I'm given the slope. What have they given me? What do I have? I have the slope and I have the y-intercept, right? And I know that I have y equals mx plus b. So y equals my slope, negative 3x, plus my y-intercept, 1/2. And that's all there is to that. Okay, so over here, I have y equals mx plus b again, if you need to write that there for reference. We have y equals 0x minus 2, my slope, my y-intercept. And I don't need this, because it's just going to be 0. So we have y equals negative 2. All right, so I want you to take a minute to try these. It shouldn't take you very long, but go ahead and pause your video now. Okay, so first one, I'm going to write y equals mx plus b up here so I can have that as a reference. So my slope is 7, y-intercept is 2, that's what they've given me. So I have y equals 7x plus 2. And over here I have y equals 1/3 x minus 1. So hopefully that didn't take you too long. All right, the next things they want us to know how to do, the next couple of things, is to be able to write a line given a graph and to be able to write a line just given a table. So again, what we need, we look at what we've got. And what you're going to need for every single one of these problems, in order to write an equation, you absolutely have to have the slope every time. So there's got to be a way to figure out the slope. So for here, we could just count it, but I'm going to use the formula for the slope, and I'm going to find it that way. So I have y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So I'm going to use this y first, so y minus y, so negative 1 minus 2 over x minus x, 4 minus 0. So my slope is negative 3 over 4, and that makes sense, right? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I've got my slope, and what else did they give me? They gave me the y-intercept. I have that. It's 2. So now I can write my equation. y equals negative 3/4 x plus 2. Okay, so this one we're going to do something similar, only we don't have it as a graph. I absolutely have to have the slope first. So I'm going to take a couple of points here and I'm going to figure that out. And I think I'll just take two that are next to each other. I'll do these two right here. And it doesn't matter, I said this before, you could take this point and this point or whichever two you want, you will get the same slope. So I'm going to do y minus y, so negative 1 minus 2 over x minus x, 4 minus 2. And that gives me negative 3 over 2. So my slope is negative 3/2. No, it's not. Did you see my mistake? Hopefully you saw my mistake. Let's do that again. The slope is negative 1 minus negative 2. Negative 1 minus a negative 2 over 4 minus 2. That equals 1/2. That is much better. That's what I was thinking it should be. Okay, now we also, as we're looking at these points in this table, we've got the y-intercept right here. And the reason I know it's the y-intercept is because x is 0. That's how I know that I've got the y-intercept, because x is 0. So I can now write my equation, y equals 1/2 x minus 3. Okay, so I'd like you to give these two a try, and you can go ahead and pause right now. Okay, so here we go. Again, you could count these if you wanted. I'm going to use the formula just because I think it's good practice, but I'm going to do y minus y over x minus x. So 3 minus 1 over 4 minus 0. So that gives me 2/4. So my slope is 1/2, and my y-intercept is right here, it's 1. So I have y equals 1/2 x plus 1. Okay, over here, I've got, I'm going to use the formula again. And I think I'm going to use, because they're positive numbers, they're just usually easier. So I'm going to use these. I'm going to do y minus y over x minus x. So I've got 3 over 1, which is 3. So my slope is 3. And again, right here is my y-intercept because of the x being 0. So I have y equals 3x plus 2. I guess I should probably circle this one. This is my y-intercept, but it's because x is 0. Okay, we will go on in the next video.